Hey there, guys. Finishing up my Planet of the Apes series of reviews with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which means we are about a month away from War for the Planet of the Apes. I'm so excited, guys. War for the Planet of the Apes is probably near the top of my most anticipated movies of the year so far, so anyways, so Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is directed by Matt Reeves and it stars Andy Serkis, Jason Clarke, Toby Kebbell, and Gary Oldman. This is like my fourth time trying to record this video because I did not have enough storage space to keep going on. So I just waited it out and now it should finally work this time. I hope. No, but so this movie is just great. I really, really do love this movie. So, let's go through the plot real quick. The plot of this movie revolves around Caesar from Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It's quite a few years later, and things are going very well for the apes. They have their big community, they're peaceful, they're prosperous, everything's going great. Caesar has a family. He has very he's done a very good job at fitting into this leader role that he was not um so probably not like as ready for as he would have been at the point he was at in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but he has stepped up to this leader role and he everything's going really well. And then on the opposite side, you have the humans, where it's kind of chaos with the humans. There's nothing for them. They have their little area. They don't have any electricity. They don't have any resources. Things are not that good. So their paths cross when the humans who want to use this hydroelectric dam to um, power their city, they have to go in and try and talk to Caesar because the dam is in Caesar's territory. And one of the things this movie does incredibly is the balance because on one side you see equal people on both sides, but also a bit of a reverse. On the human side, you have Jason Clarke's character who wants to just have everything stay peaceful and cooperative between the apes. And that's also Caesar. Only thing is, Jason Clarke's character is like a foot soldier to a higher power, whereas Caesar is the higher power. And then on the opposite side, on the human side, you have Gary Oldman, and then you have Toby Kebbell as Koba, who they both just want their respective species to win out and be the dominant species on the planet. But then Gary Oldman's character is in charge, and then Toby Kebbell's character, again, is like a foot soldier to the higher power. So you have a great dynamic because there's a lot of conflict in this movie involving the fact that it seems like war is inevitable. Koba wants to start this war because he wants the apes to win, whereas Caesar doesn't want war, he wants peace. But it seems like because of Koba's actions that peace might not happen. And I really do love the the storyline of this movie, just the main plot and the whole idea of can war be avoided? Can these two species work together and set aside their differences? And so it's a really interesting journey along the way, seeing that The apes, they start out distrusting humans. Then they let in this small group of humans to work on the dam, and Jason Clarke's character slowly starts to build a friendship with Caesar, and the apes start to view humans as okay. But then Koba is going through and trying to ruin that and start a war. And so it's an interesting thing because it's like, oh, maybe war can be avoided. Maybe we can work together and work for the greater good of just having both races survive, both species. But then, of course, there's always one extremist type person that has to ruin it. And I just, I love the whole story of this movie. And you know what makes this movie better? The visual effects. The visual effects are amazing. Beyond just the normal visual effects, green screen, stuff like that, you have half of the characters in this movie are apes being played by human actors in mocap suits, interacting with humans, and it looks so realistic. It's not it's not like even like Jurassic World levels of realistic CGI where it's like, yeah, those dinosaurs look good, but they're obviously CGI. This is like, it almost looks like they went to a zoo, got apes, and just had them play these characters. But it's not, and it's incredible. I love the effects of these movies. Like, it was really good in Rise. In Rise, it's starting to kind of date just a little bit. There are still a couple of shots in here and there where it's like, yeah, that's CGI, but it's still really, really good CGI. This movie never had one of those moments with me where I was like, oh yeah, that's CGI. The whole time I was like, oh, that's Caesar. I didn't even think that's Andy Serkis or that's, a CGI ape. I was just like, that is Caesar. Yeah. And that is one of the biggest compliments I can give this movie. Because more often than not in a movie, if you have bad visual effects, it can kind of take you out of it a little bit. But this movie never has a dull moment in the visual effects department. And so that is great, but the movie can't just rely solely on visual effects. It has to have good characters too. Caesar is just great. I loved Caesar in Rise. I love him even more in Dawn. Koba is a really good character. He's got some layers to him, and you understand why he hates humans and why he's doing what he's doing. Even if you don't agree with him, you still understand why he's doing what he's doing. Malcolm, I think, is the name of Jason Clarke's character. His motivations are clear. He just wants to protect his family and do the right thing. And so he and Caesar get along very well in that way because they're both husbands, they're both fathers, and they just want to keep their families safe. And they both have teenage sons. They're very, very similar. So it's understandable why they drift towards each other and start to form a friendship. And that was one of the most believable things in this movie was that because you had the first movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, where Caesar was very trusting of Will, James Franco's character, who is not in this movie, by the way, but he was very trusting of Will. So when his trust in humanity was broken by other humans, it probably almost seemed impossible to Caesar that he would ever trust another human. And then slowly throughout this movie, you start to see, like, at first, they don't get along that well. Malcolm is just trying to negotiate with him, and then slowly, Caesar still doesn't quite trust him, but they're building that friendship. And then by the end, you can tell that they do have this mutual trust and bond. And that, in my opinion, is one of the strongest elements of this movie is just the building of trust between apes and humans, and then the breaking of that trust and the start of the war. Because, spoiler alert, this movie doesn't have a happy ending because the next movie is called War for the Planet of the Apes, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think this is the best Planet of the Apes movie ever out of all of them. I've not seen any of the old ones, so I can't say based on the old ones, but out of all the ones I have seen, which are the 2001 remake, Rise, and then this, I think this one is the best one. And I am going to give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes an A+. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes if you've seen it, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.